Okay. Right, test. Yeah, I think it's working. All right.
Is it?
And it says it's recording.
Okay. So we'll call the meeting to order at 6:03.
Paul St. Almond.
Colleen Hodges.
Alex Berardo for staff.
Norma Smith. First, approval of minutes of September 5th. Has everybody read the minutes?
Still reading.
Okay.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, I think the wrong people. I see. So the CLG grant status, Erin isn't here, so can you say something about that?
Yeah, I would, I know that Erin emailed me during the last month. And I signed the second quarterly report, so I assume that she would have sent it to HPHC. That was gonna be her next step. And then for the grant itself, the draft of the RFP language has been written, you know, the whole big document, and it's with the solicitor right now. We're hoping that he'll be done with his review by the end of this week so that it can go out next week. But
Okay.
that's where it stands.
Okay.
So it hasn't gone out to the public yet, so we don't even know if anyone's responded.
Not yet, no.
Right.
These things, I'll tell you, I understand why the RFP process is a longer process now, having written it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more cooks in the kitchen.
Slow process.
Mission and vision statement is Nick's project. He isn't here,
Yep.
so we
So we'll
can table
defer that
that
to next month.
Yep. Yes.
and ongoing projects. So,
So this, I guess, is just share out if you've done anything
Yep, I
last
can-
month.
Erin was gonna do these. Is working on organizing the standards and guidelines, but she's not here, so.
That's what I meant by goals and objectives
Yeah.
down into business. So
Yeah.
that'll be another to skip once we get
Yeah.
there.
Ongoing projects.
Ongoing projects.
I'll tell you a little bit. I did go to the library and speak to the circulation lady that is there about the Ralph Cook
Mhm.
books and all of his scrapbooks. And the head librarian got back to me the next day and by email, and that I gave my email, and said that they would take them back. The irony of it is they had originally had them there and they gave them to Coventry Historical.
Exactly.
But so all of those, which I've got 3 more at
Mhm.
my house that I've scanned pertinent.
Mhm.
I've scanned the pertinent information that kind of related to us in Patuxent Valley and
Right.
Coventry. And that, but I'm ready, you know, again, I know we're gonna talk about when that move happens, but I scanned a whole bunch more stuff this past weekend from Ralph's books. And they're ready to go back, and I know we have the others, so at some
Mhm.
point, I guess the day we maybe do that, or I can do it some other time. I gotta just gather those together. They have
Mhm.
enough room to put them in the glass cases
Oh,
there,
okay. 'Cause I was
where
gonna
they
ask.
have all of the historical
Yeah.
books on the town
they,
and other stuff there.
They're
So
doing some sort of
that's-
renovation. Do you know what that is?
Restrooms, I think. Weren't they
all
redoing the
they're doing?
restrooms?
I don't know if they're
Just the restrooms,
expanding.
that's all.
Oh, I thought.
They're only
they found
they're
it
redoing
renovation.
the restrooms.
Oh, so they're not
but-
expanding. Okay.
So we'll have a home for those anyway,
Okay,
and those are,
okay.
I did it because I consider them to be a very important
Mhm.
historical documentation of stuff that went on. Because Ralph's stuff went back to his clippings and that to the
Mhm.
early part of the century
Mhm.
and all the way up to like the 60s.
Mhm.
Yeah.
With the various books, and they focused on different things, so if anyone's looking to do some research and find
Mhm.
stuff out there, you know,
That's
pretty
right.
valuable, so.
Yeah.
And that's a good safe place to
Mhm.
have them.
And it's a locked
Yep.
case, right? It's locked.
Yeah, it's
So he
locked.
wants
It's in a
this-
locked
yeah.
case, so you can't go in it unless you have the approval of the
Mhm.
librarian, so.
In bringing them there, are you officially giving them back to the library? So that they're not, for whatever it's worth, I don't know that the Historical Society had to begin with a detailed list of the things in its possession. But is it like the sort of thing that you'd be writing like an official letter to say like, we gift these to you? Or is it like
They
on
were theirs
long-term
originally,
loan?
so I don't know.
Well, they were given
Okay.
to the town.
Yep,
And
Yeah.
then they were given to the town manager and whatever, and then they were put in the library, and the library ended up not wanting them. They don't have a lot of space. They're not,
yeah. So,
My 2 cents worth, if I were gonna do something like that, I would say that I would send it with a letter, or there would be a letter with it that says, we are returning these to you,
yeah,
sign it off, and then that way
Mhm.
there's no
signed by
conflict down the
you
road.
and Nick being chair and co-chair. so-
Well, no, because they're coming from
Historical.
the
Historical
Historical
Society.
Society, not
Okay,
from the
so that's
commission,
normal.
but that's up to you guys, how
Yeah.
you want to deal with that.
no, it's just,
Cause there's
I don't know.
no
who-
provenance.
I didn't know who didn't want them. They didn't want them taking the space. I don't
Mm.
remember who it
Right,
was
well, that's why
at the time. But that's gone, so.
I had spoke to the circulation woman, the one
Yeah.
that's kind of in charge of that,
Mhm.
and I was lucky because she was there when I went.
Mhm.
Cause it was late in the afternoon, but, she said, well, if there's room in the case, I said,
Mm.
well, I've looked and it looks to be enough room to put all of, cause you need about that much space for them. There's maybe 7 of them or
Mhm,
8 of them, whatever, but anyway, she had to ask her boss, so,
Well,
and they did agree to do it, so we'll see.
Okay.
But you're right, you
Alright.
probably should do a letter
Do a
that
letter,
goes
yeah.
along with it.
Some kind of documentation with a
Exactly.
date on it that
Exactly.
explains for whoever was wondering down the road where it went, how it got
Right.
there.
Because 20 years from now, someone's gonna be dealing with the same question, going, where did these go?
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's get rid of it.
who was
We need
gonna
the
write it?
space.
Who's gonna write it? The letter? Who wants to write the letter?
Well,
Well,
it's gotta come from
there's a couple.
Coventry Historical, so it's
Yeah,
between you
yeah.
guys.
Yeah. but,
All right, me and you will.
yeah.
Put one together.
Okay, and you're done scanning, pretty much done?
Yeah, pretty much done with that.
Okay.
Yep, not done with all the pictures yet I took. I got
Yeah.
a few more to do, but, whether I get
Yeah,
to
but
them this
whatever we
weekend or
can
not.
put there, because
Yeah.
we have to get out of that room,
Yeah, I know.
so,
So that's why I was saying it, and the only reason I'm bringing it up, because the other ones
Mm.
that I had already done, and there's like 5 of them are in that room
Mm.
in one of the things, so
okay,
I need to just retrieve those at some point
Mhm.
and I, probably the best bet is to do it today. We're gonna move stuff, and we're gonna talk about that, so.
but as long as we can have access to those again,
Yeah,
I
anytime.
mean, as long
Yeah.
as they're locked up, obviously, but. You just have to go in and you can't take them out usually when they're,
And the other thing, again, on these ongoing projects, that if you thought it was a good idea, just to show you some of the pictures in that I've been doing and all that, at the next meeting or the
Mm.
meeting after that, I could bring in the,
Okay.
thing, and you can just plug it into
Oh,
that. can't
actually,
you?
yes, they just within the last week implemented a new policy about not having foreign thumb drives come in. Because that's a novel new way of introducing viruses. So
Not
maybe,
new.
can you email me a handful of them and maybe I could do it that way with one of the town ones?
No, I can't email it to you. It's way too big. I'll bring it over here and let you put it on your computer or something.
They won't
That way
let
so
it
you
on.
can- Well,
February.
So,
and I understand what you're saying, but I mean, JPEGs and that take up an awful lot. Trying to email them when you drop
do you have a
box.
laptop?
Yeah,
A laptop?
I do.
What
But I
if
want to put it up on there so everybody can see them.
Yeah,
Well-
but they won't let you plug into that, so I'm thinking. if
Well,
you-
maybe a HDMI cable from a laptop, because that's
So
not
it
really
would be on
data
the laptop.
exchange, that's just a
Yeah.
picture.
so it would be
Yeah.
on the laptop, but.
Yeah.
So you have
Transfer.
a HDMI hookup on your laptop?
I believe I do, yeah.
Cause I have HDMI.
Yeah,
cords.
so let's do it that way then.
Yeah, because I think it'd be fun for everybody to see some of the stuff, because what I've been doing, as I stated before, I've been organizing like for the town of Coventry, but that's not, there's a lot of other pictures besides that, because a lot of things that I had from my grandfather and other ones from pictures that we had in the Coventry Historical Society, Patuxent Valley and, other towns like Warwick and stuff like that, that are old pictures that are fun to see, but Anyway. When I'm getting far enough along with it, I can put a bunch of it on
Yeah.
that hard drive, a thumb, it's a special thumb drive, but
Mhm.
it's got a lot of, it can handle
Good amount of
like 10,000
storage.
pictures, so.
Mhm. All right.
Colleen,
Yes,
the town website,
yes. I need data.
but we will have, he's not doing that, you're doing that.
No, he's gonna set it up and we're gonna tell him what to put on it.
Okay, so we don't have access to add to it or whatever.
Not yet, not yet. I don't know that we will.
Yeah.
But
It's just a
the
lot on him.
content is what we will
Yeah.
control.
It's just a lot on him, to have to,
Well, in the
Yeah.
beginning, and I'll
Yeah.
sit with him and we'll figure that
Yeah.
out, but he doesn't even have a really good idea of what kind of content we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, he understands documents, he understands photos. But until he starts seeing quantity, it's not gonna make any sense to him. So as people will send to me the stuff that they want to put up, I will start organizing and then we'll have to sit down with him and I will figure out how we're gonna do that. But I
okay.
need
Now I have.
content. We were gonna start with mission and vision, but obviously we don't have that yet.
We're not,
And then, but as people have, the initial photos you wanna send, or the initial maps, or the initial list of, historic areas, or
Yeah.
whatever types of
Like the-
content.
Like the Larry Manier type thing,
Right,
because they have some old documents that someone gave to me, they go back to 1742. They're old, and I can scan them, I think, and send
sure,
them to you.
absolutely.
I still gotta get you on Facebook.
Good luck.
I haven't.
We have tried this
I
15
know.
times and I never get the invitation.
Yeah, no, I know, and I don't get, because it's supposed to, well, anyway, that's another conversation. But, anyway, I'm gonna start scanning in those documents and things.
And if you wanna email them to me, or if they're too big, if you wanna bring a jump drive, I'm not quite as hysterical about jump
Oh, I
drive.
might jump drive and just collect them on a
Yeah,
jump
that's
drive.
fine.
Yeah, okay,
And then I'll just give you back the jump drive when I've
okay.
got them uploaded.
Now, we have to get out of the room,
you have to what?
get out of the room.
Right. That's new business.
Oh, is it down there? Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
okay. Okay, we'll skip over. Do you have anything for cemeteries? We've talked about Pine Grove. We did not
We
get.
had a guy here last time that
Oh, he was
talked about,
looking for.
he was
did
looking
call?
for you. Did he ever
No,
find you?
I recognize the name. It was somebody that,
Yeah.
had some information for me a long time ago,
Yep.
but I don't really know.
He was
No, I
asking,
didn't.
he was
Yeah.
asking questions we couldn't answer.
A cemetery person wasn't here. Um. We're not getting our ARPA funds,
Yeah, I saw that,
Which,
but I
I'm surprised.
appreciate you trying.
but we need to find a way to get it repaired. So can you help me research grants?
Yeah, nobody has been able to
something out
come
there.
up with anything yet specific to, cemeteries. They just, well, those have been hard to find. I don't know why.
What about
We
stone
even
walls?
had people from the state, I can't remember who the contingency was, that sent people, and they came and they walked through, and it was, where everything was good, nice conversation walking through, and then we get to the point about where can we get grant, where can we apply for grant money, and it was all crickets, like that was the end of the.
Is there anybody in that endangered area that has to do with the Civil War or the Revolutionary
Well, that's-
War
Hmm.
or veterans
In
in
terms of
general?
burials?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's like,
Because
we have a lot of documentation
That's
on
a
that.
whole nother group of potential grants that are available.
Could you would know who's Civil War or whatever, maybe the Sons of Revolution,
The Union veterans.
yes, yeah, something like that. Aren't there some
Well,
revolutionary
they
people
do,
in there? too?
Daughters
They
of the
do a lot of-
American Revolution, I
they
don't know,
all do.
whoever.
Yeah,
Well, as a
put
matter
that
of
on.
fact, we even had an event with the Sons of the American Revolution, back in the springtime. And they're in the same situation. They're trying to find funds, like the Sons of Union Veterans does a lot of work in cemeteries all over the state. And they're hard pressed to find funding specifically for cemeteries more for what they do,
Mm.
the type of work that they do, but not cemeteries. I don't know why.
Because anybody I've ever met that was in the DAR already had lots of money. So I thought,
There are revolutionary people, but I don't think they're on
for
that
sure.
top part.
Yeah, I think there's two in Pine Grove down below. Actually, at least one of them is below the retaining wall.
Well, that's good. We
Mm.
can say these people are gonna fall on him.
well, I mean, that's,
No, it's
Yeah.
worth.
even if that, those people that have large memberships, the DAR has
Mm.
huge memberships.
Mm.
If they would put something in their newsletter that, this is an issue and we're looking to collect funds or
Mhm.
something for, to repair this wall and it's gonna cost this amount of money and, with the photos that go with it, it's worth a conversation with somebody.
Maybe if I can get on the agenda for the state commission meeting is in a couple weeks in October. Maybe we can talk specifically about that, but everybody, all of the groups, everybody that's represents at that commission, everybody just has like the same woes, like.
They're looking for money too.
Everybody's looking
You
for
almost
money.
have to go national with it and ask
Yeah,
for
is there
individual
any-
donations.
Person that's significant, that's in there that we could
I don't know who they're.
personalize it, and not, it's a stone wall.
Yeah,
You can personalize it somehow,
yeah, because.
because you know who's in there. I don't know. I know the old town clerk is in there. There's pictures in town hall. He's over there.
So how much money was this one
It's
cost?
about 89.
Like in the 80,000 plus,
Yeah.
but the number that you
Keep it
got.
at 100.
If prices have gone
I
up.
mean,
Yeah,
that was-
yeah,
that
sure.
was 3 years
Years
ago.
ago.
I figure
Yeah,
100
sure.
grand.
And I was gonna say,
Yeah.
and that was consistent with the number that DPW had gotten when they put out some requests for.
Yeah, they got 130 back
Yeah,
then. They
yeah.
were.
But there was
two
one that was in the eight, there was one that was in the eight, and that was
That
going
was
back
the one
a few
I-
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens if it fails?
The bodies become exposed, the Department of Health gets called in,
I
and
guess then,
the Army Corps of
Then what
Engineers
happens?
has to come up with a plan to.
so is it the Army Corps of Engineers that it would be dumped onto? In other words, who's gonna have to clean up the mess? 'Cause
Yeah, I don't know, in terms of who pays for the cleaning up the mess, I don't know, but. I know that Department of Health would be even none of that is perfect. They've had that, the mausoleum near Roger Lane
Yeah,
Park,
it-
like
I
it's
was
been
thinking-
falling down and and
Yeah.
nobody has a solution for that. There's no money for that.
They don't even know who owns it officially.
Yeah, and the Veteran Cemetery had offered to take in,
the
veterans,
remains.
but even that, then they still had to, cause now we're talking, there's a hazmat situation, so that jacks the price up, and how are we gonna get these bodies to the veteran cemetery? So, and that's just been going on and on forever, so.
So do they still have people out?
In the mausoleum,
Yes.
yeah, there's still people there, and I guess the state did probably, what they did over at the store, the Saint Germain store over there, that, they.
Just put
And then
fencing
people were
around
still
it,
breaking
yeah.
in, people were still breaking in, and they were saying like, that's. People with the cameras, and then they're so goofy,
Mm.
they post the.
Oh, I'm
videos and
sure they do.
All that.
That would
I
not
don't know, yeah,
surprise me
I
in the
don't
least.
know. I mean, it's certainly worth it to, make another round of trying to look at.
There has to be something
Money that's
somewhere. You're
available.
not gonna get it from the town. I mean, the
Even-
financial situation will never be on the agenda or
Even-
in the budget for that.
And even on a lower key magnitude, even veterans graves, there's provisions in state laws, federal and state laws, that if a veteran's grave is neglected, then the town can come in and clean it up, and there has to be money made available to fixing the mess that's around. And the chairperson for the State Cemetery Commission reached out to, I can't remember if it was maybe Jack Reed. Would have made more sense if it was him, right? Not Sheldon Whitehouse, I'm not sure, but anyways, somebody
Number.
representing veterans issues, and they said, yes, we know this law exists. Yes, we know exactly what it says. There's no money, there is no money. There's no money available. Yes, the law says that there has to be money available
Well, the
for
thing
that,
is,
but there's no money there.
there's no money and there's no penalty if it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So if it,
No
I mean,
incentive,
it's
right?
one of those laws that, yes, it's the
Yeah,
law, but if
but
they
there's
break
this-
it.
yeah.
What's the penalty?
Yeah,
If there's no
yeah.
penalty, then it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, so there's
Um,
just no money there.
it's an unenforceable, statute,
So that's why.
an
I guess
unfunded
just-
and unenforceable statute.
So it comes down to volunteerism, this is just,
Yeah, but we can't build a wall.
no.
I don't
No,
know how
I
to build a
can't.
wall, and I don't know anybody that's got deep enough pockets that could write $100,000
And you
grant.
cut the trees out of the way and the rest of the wall comes
Well, that's
down.
what I said, don't anybody touch those arborvitae's at the end,
Maybe
and holding
put
it
a
up.
sign on those trees that says, if you cut this tree down, the cemetery will collapse.
Yeah.
Don't touch the tree.
Yeah, at your own risk. Yeah, I don't
Don't,
know.
somebody will do it just because they want to
Well,
see skeletons.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
The
especially
sign
this
is
time of
me.
year.
You cut it, you repair it.
Yeah.
You cut it, you own it.
Anyway, I was just gonna really try to find something, because it's never gonna be in the town budget, never.
No, I don't know. It's not a priority.
These people don't.
No, and I think nothing like will, unless, as you suggested, we find funding source, but otherwise it will just be when it's on the
Mm,
6 o'clock news,
Yeah.
having bodies were washed
Yeah.
out and.
mm. Okay, well, I just,
But thank you for
Fine.
trying to get that in there as for the ARPA funding and.
yeah,
Um,
well, we talked about, are we still supposed to go to the town council?
For the cemetery stuff?
No, what were we supposed to do in it?
Oh, the ordinance?
Yeah, the ordinance, yes.
Um,
But you
yeah,
didn't
that's,
for some reason.
that's
'cause you had to-
also in the solicitor's lap, as far as I know.
Yeah,
So I know I asked. Wonder how long ago it was, maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago. If there's any movement, hasn't been just yet, so I'll probably just at the same time that I follow up next, which again, probably by the end of the week, just say, oh, so how's that going? But
Okay.
that eventually will get put onto the
yeah.
next
Which is-
available.
After the holidays, they start doing their budget things again and everything get kind of pushed aside.
Mhm.
So I'd like to do something, I'm not sure exactly what, between the holidays and before budget hearings.
If we've
Explaining
got
what we
the
are and what we do.
ordinance pretty much ready
Mm.
to go through the hopper, soon as we get the green light to put it in. Then I think once it has its first reading, then it's, it takes on its own
Mm, mm.
rhythm, its own life, and then it just rolls into the second one, keeps going.
Mhm.
So, yes, but that's a good
Okay.
reminder. Let me make sure that I follow up on that the same day that I do for the RFP language.
Let me know who's in that cemetery in that area, Maureen. That would be significant. Try to figure out a money source,
hmm.
if it's revolutionary or, well, I'm sure there's Civil War, I'm not so sure about every revolutionary guys.
Yeah, one is actually right in front of the vault that holding that over there.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, all right, just when you get a few minutes to do that. Okay, other ongoing projects, anybody want to talk about? Maureen,
Let's talk about Maureen.
yeah, let's talk about Maureen.
Well, actually, talking about ongoing projects, I
Go ahead.
did want to tell you that if you remember when I did the brown signs project, out of the 4 signs that I had requested, one got rejected because they said it was on a state road, so the location that I had suggested for the entering the village and entering from the other way, it was on a state road. And then so much time had lapsed since I had done anything with that. But anyways, recently I was able to talk to DPW, and we kind of revisited the locations that we had said would be good. And I did change the location, but it's still kind of like on the cusp of a state or town road, but he had told me told me that in the letter that I can say that I have town's permission through the state to install the sign on the state road. And then he said if there's an issue with that, if it's because it's on a town, or if it's on a town road, he said they would put it up, but otherwise it's state road night,
They have to do it.
yeah, exactly. So, I gotta get that done before that program disappears. And,
Yeah.
but
Based on talking about signs, what about the Harris sign? Do I try to get a number from one of these sign companies that does that to find out what it would be so that we can try and get it in the budget next year? How, you know,
I think you should get a
no,
sign price for the sign and somebody else pays for it.
like an informational sign with all, like the
Similar to
similar
what's
to
so
there.
Harris has that sign that's
Yeah.
just
Right, with
worn
all the
out with all the
details.
details and everything.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that through a budget because
No,
no. Somebody else will pay for it.
you mean the town
Well-
won't put that in their budget to?
Well, we
do
don't have
something
much,
that we-
at least not in this year's budget, we don't have much of nothing, but.
You can try.
Yeah,
it
could
just, you know,
propose it for
and
the,
reason why you're saying no, it's all these big things about the school budget and whatever. I mean, all these little things are
Yeah, I
gonna fall
know,
by the
yeah,
wayside.
no.
They're not gonna be important because they have major crises
Yeah,
somewhere else. So this is not gonna be important. We can try. You should still get a price.
yeah,
Still get a
it
price.
probably doesn't hurt.
I'm
to
sorry.
put- I don't think it hurts to put it on there.
You can put it in the budget,
radar,
and if
even
they
if we
say
don't
no,
expect
then
that it's-
somebody else can pay for it.
Yeah, but at least the idea has shown up
Yeah.
once before, it's crossed their desks, you know,
Yeah.
maybe in a more favorable year,
But it's
1 or
the
2 years later.
the
then
same
they
thing
do
with the
it.
pink granite. We've gotta get a price on the project, of whether or not the town will pay for it. Depending how much it is, somebody else can pay for it, if they agree to it.
true. Okay. This- We'll move on.
Or even that stone on Madison Road.
Yeah,
Find out what that's gonna, we could maybe put that in the budget and see if they'll pay for that.
yeah, I did, Brian Giat did give me the
Yeah.
name of the guy
Oh, okay.
that does that, and I do have it, and if you still want to pursue it, I will call him to give him the
Yeah,
info, you know,
Yeah.
on it, and have him put together a price for it, so.
so get a sign for the price, a price for the sign. And a price for the
On the
rock.
stone carving.
But then again, can it be carved? Because that lot is privately owned, even though it's like on the town.
And it-
so many feet.
Right, how many feet,
Is the
is it
town
on?
setback?
Yeah, there
Yeah.
is, well, I don't know, we'd have to check that, I'd
I don't know.
have to,
There's probably a setback.
have
but
to
that
come
would
into
go-
zoning and have Alex help me look at that and determine.
Yeah.
Again, because the road typically is not the width of what it is, you know, we can look that up and see where the center line is and how far the town property. I mean, in some cases, the town property could be 10 feet in from the edge of the asphalt, could
Right.
be only 5 feet in, but
Yeah.
usually it'll
But-
give you some indication where the center line and what it is.
Can
but-
even ask for a plaque for Black Rock. Because she had agreed to it as long
Yeah.
as her husband's name was on the plaque. A
but
while
if
back, but
it's-
then nothing happened, yeah,
But
then
this
nothing
is- yeah,
happened,
yeah,
yeah,
I
so,
forget her
you know, we
first
could
name.
maybe,
I shouldn't forget it, but.
Yeah.
Went to school with it, but.
Yeah.
How did who originally placed that rock at the corner
know.
of Madison and
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maple Valley? I just want, I mean, because
Yeah.
it would depend on who put it, you know, maybe somebody had the forethought to put it on town, you know, or the
Maybe
town
Kyle
set
Fave,
that.
I mean, since he did so many things.
It looks like
Yeah.
it's there for that, for a purpose.
Right, and
Standing
it's,
straight
and
up.
it's not, you can tell just by the amount of cleanliness to it that hasn't been there for probably more than
Right.
20 years.
Yeah.
You know, so I only say Guy Lefebvre because he was involved in so many of the historical
It
things,
been put up during the Rochambeau thing.
maybe.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
because that's right, because the state did just recently replace those signs
Hmm.
for the.
So maybe
Washington-
something within that
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Rochambeau
Mm.
Yeah.
trail,
They just
something
put
was
some new
planned
ones
for
up.
it. Yeah.
I don't know what was wrong with the old ones, but there's new
Some of
ones
them
now.
faded, but.
I know you don't know where this is, but.
I think I've seen it on Google
Yeah.
Street View once,
It's,
but I know we would have like. GIS might give you a sense of where the town,
Right,
you know,
right.
right of way
Yeah,
ends,
I
but
know.
it's, I know, down to like the 10 feet zone, it's
Mm.
usually not totally sure. So if the line runs like right along the
Well,
rock,
Probably what I'm saying, because it will show us the lot size and everything and who the person is that owns it.
It says the name of them. I forgot the name.
But I'll
Yeah,
find
I
that
can
out.
look
You
at the
know, I'll
GIS,
come
the
in
tax
someday.
assessment.
You
Yeah,
can
it
print
says the
me out
name.
that.
Mhm.
And at least that way, if we gotta contact the person, if we do get a go-ahead at some point to do it, we have the info.
Mhm.
Just out of curiosity, if you wanted to find out who arranged to put that in, is that something that you can conduct a search, like on the Secretary of State, on the minutes?
Who put
The rock, the marker,
who actually put it in the ground?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it's not like geologically,
Yeah.
native to that
I would-
position.
I would like, I mean, for me, I'd be looking at Google Street View with the historic aerial imagery of the state and try to like triangulate first on a general year that it was put in
Mhm.
and then work from there. Cause I
Oh.
don't know who,
I think
else.
I think I've actually done this, and it might be on the town site. Where you can do a sort, you can conduct a search, it has, it's limited in its effectiveness, but I'm just wondering like how. Depends on how far back the
Mm.
meeting minutes are
Well,
that are connected to
mean,
that.
you don't have to be a genius to see that it was put there for a purpose.
Yeah,
You
exactly,
know, so
it is not
It's-
indigenous to
That
that.
is,
Exactly.
definitely was put there
As a marker.
as a marker, and knowing that that was the site of the first town hall in Coventry, that someone had the idea to do it. Now, it could have been the Coventry Historical Society for all we know, you know, but
Hmm.
I mean, again, they did a lot of different little projects, and Guy Lafave he was the president of that for a while.
Mhm.
It could have been him, but since again, I can tell by looking at it that it's not that old.
Oh, yeah,
It would have mold and
Yeah.
moss growing all
Yeah.
over, and it doesn't, so,
But a lot was
But-
going on during the W3R,
yeah, okay, that's. yep.
something they could have done
Yep.
too, so I'm not.
Yep.
And I'm not, you know, who knows,
Needless to say, doesn't matter, I'll get her,
because there's a
I'll
big,
try and call that gentleman
Mm.
and, give him the
Yeah.
info, send him the picture
we
of the
just need
thing that I
prices
did
and
with
then
that.
decide what we're gonna try to do through budget.
Mm.
And what we're not,
Yeah,
like the pink granite is not cheap.
no. And besides that, we've had this conversation.
Mm.
What happens when you put it in there and create a seating area? Does it become a place where
The homeless,
I'll use a correct term, the
Unhoused.
unhoused,
the
go and
unhoused.
find a
That's
place to
that's the
hang out
correct
like we
wording,
did at the gazebo in West Warwick?
The
Create a
unhoused.
problem for the local, it's right there, and the police to have to deal with, or
Yeah.
what? You know, that's
Yeah.
my concern.
Hmm.
Because you have so many of the homeless that are over there by the bike path and that.
Yeah.
And it seems that these things seem to attract them.
Hmm.
They go in there and sit
with that gazebo, do you?
and
Yeah,
Who had a roof?
create a problem,
Hmm.
so I don't know.
well,
We'll put that one on the back
yeah,
burner.
yeah, that's not,
I'd rather,
I mean, the pink granite's not hurting anybody.
yeah,
It's just sitting
it's
there.
not gonna deteriorate.
Nope, it's not going anywhere.
We don't have to worry about it,
The top jagged, nobody can sit on.
so,
Yeah. Okay, so the
Picture.
sign, price on the sign, price
Yep.
on the stone,
yep,
and the plaque on Black Rock.
black on black rock. Okay, that, I guess we need to talk about a little bit, what would it say?
Pretty much about, you know what,
Or do you want
what's
to
his name, I
give
talked to
that to
her.
me on it and,
Let me talk to
right,
Ray,
so then you can just send the,
let me talk to Ray
section.
Watson, because
because you can't get a price on it if you don't
he
know. what
had
you're gonna
agreed
put
to
on.
it for them to do, the Indians.
And
do
again,
it.
that just leads to the next thing is Black Rock is like covered in poison ivy
Yeah.
and stuff. So how do you get that cleaned off? I wouldn't want to ask volunteers to do that,
No.
because it's like,
My solution is a flamethrower, but you
yeah,
know.
there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
But you don't want someone getting really sick because they
Yeah.
go over there and mess with that.
We'd have to figure out what would go on it.
I guess, you'd spray it, proper way to do it.
Don't they have goats? I think goats
They
are.
do.
like-
Do
Why don't you tether some goats up
Yeah.
there?
You could
That's
put
a
some
good
goats up there, they would be,
They'll clean
love
it
it.
right off.
Yeah, they do.
Wouldn't bother them in the least.
No.
Yeah, you got those rent-a-goats now that they have,
Yeah.
probably a good idea.
Even somebody in Coventry that doesn't.
Yeah, but-
Travels with their boat.
Yeah, how do you keep them from running into the middle of Black Rock Road?
Well, that's another.
That's not my problem to figure out.
No, I'm just saying, I mean, put them on the rock, how do they know the difference? between the rock and the nursery across the street.
Okay, that would be a disaster.
Yeah, the hot dogs might not appreciate.
No, they would not. But anyway, okay, so we'll work on that. Okay, anything else for ongoing project?
Let's move on.
Okay, new business goals and objectives we can't do
Yep,
because
that was Aaron, so we'll
it's
defer
Aaron's
that.
yeah.
by that, so moving items in storage, we need to
So-
choose a date and a location. What do you mean by a location?
What I know, so Doug told me the other day that he had spoken with Kevin McGee, DPW, and now Kevin has said by the end of this month is
Okay.
when we need to be
Hmm.
out, so,
The end of October.
yeah, end of October. But he, I guess, if I'm remembering the way that Doug told me, I think Kevin suggested that, and I don't know where this is, maybe one of you knows the building better. There was a freezer in that part of the building, is that correct? Do any of you know?
Freezer?
Yeah, a freezer. There's
Over
one,
there?
no, I thought in that
In that
area,
area? Yeah.
Where
Freezer?
was the
A
cafeteria?
walk-in freezer you're talking
I
about.
guess so.
Yeah,
Cause there's like one room that is very large, that has some kitchen equipment, but nothing that I could obviously see that was a
That was over
freezer.
there.
The
The
way he,
cafeteria was over there and the kitchen equipment's over there.
well, there is kitchen equipment in the annex too, in one of
There
the
was a
rooms.
home economics program here at one time, but I don't remember there being a walk-in freezer. but
Mhm.
that-
Suppressed all my
It's-
memories of this school.
Yeah,
It's based, I
I
don't,
remember. Yeah,
I am speaking secondhand,
yeah.
Yeah.
perhaps third hand, depending on your perspective. Doug told me that he had caught Kevin at some point and he wasn't totally sure. And I asked Doug if he could follow up, but I don't think he had a chance to before the meeting, but basically, as I understand what Doug said to me, Kevin said the freezer, the old freezer might be a better area, it's I think he said it's closer. So I had this impression that it's out there, I went out to walk and to
and
look.
there's nothing else in it, I would
And
assume.
yeah, it's such a large room and it isn't partitioned off. It just strikes me as odd that, like he said, we aren't using that area through this project. And so Doug was also going to ask, like, are you sure you're
Well,
not using
Is
it?
he gonna?
Because
is
we
he
don't wanna
gonna
do a
show
second
you
move.
where it is, so we know.
You know, or show us so that you can lock us in. So anyway, I will try to hunt down that. For right now, let's assume that it's gonna go into the band room, which that has been our operating assumption.
So dates.
But the idea would be if this freezer is, say, it's that room over there, then it's a much shorter move. And it's, it's, I guess,
Yeah, no,
more of
that's
a
fine.
parallel from
I thought they
what we
wanted
had.
everything out of that end
I
of the
know, it's,
building.
I don't fully understand the deal, so I'll try to track it down.
So,
But I suppose for the moment, we should, we should find a date that works. And then in terms of location, well, maybe we just do that quick. Do you have a strong preference if it is one of the other rooms in that wing?
Well, I was just thinking as far as moving, if the cases are going in the hallways here,
And
why
they
not
still-
put them in the hallway
Yep,
while we're doing the move, rather than put
Right.
them in the move and then.
yeah, they
And
will
then we
go,
can have
yes.
somebody come in and look at the glass that
Yep.
needs to be replaced
Yeah.
or whatever.
Those,
And-
yeah, those display cases
Yes.
during whatever date and whatever location the move is, they will go
Yeah.
into the hallways
Okay,
in their position,
right.
which, before I forget, that's probably also good. I guess in the preparation time, it might make sense if you knew which things you wanted to put in the cases to maybe load them up. One or two of you guys, like DPW staff will be here to do that literal
Mhm.
heavy lifting. So it could be that that's a good time, if you guys are here on site, one or
Mhm.
two of you could, I don't know, help them watch, make sure everything's handled well, the others
so are you
could.
saying they're gonna move the cases beforehand?
I think they're gonna do it all same day.
Okay.
So same
Yeah.
day, maybe some of you guys would be able to
Yeah.
load up the display cases with what you want,
Mm.
and then you guys, I don't know, you could rotate if you wanted to take a break and switch.
Right.
So is this stuff that we're moving, is this Coventry historical stuff or is this historical preservation? I
No,
feel like
it's
that-
Coventry Historic.
Okay,
Historical.
so that's,
That's, yep. Yep. So, I mean, date wise, I mean, Nick's not here tonight or whatever, because I know he'd help too, but.
It has to
what-
be in a weekday.
During the
It
daytime
has to be
when those guys are
right.
working, yeah.
Yep,
Oh,
has to be.
So
during
before
the day.
3 o'clock.
So do you do it the week of the 21st, the week
let
of
me
the,
look.
well, 'cause then you got the week after if there's something we still gotta do.
I'm only available on Tuesdays.
Well, damn it, we'll do it on Tuesday.
I
I
remember
mean, you
they,
guys can do whatever has to be, you know,
Yeah.
good for everybody, but.
maybe we try it that week of
That's the
the,
22nd.
yeah,
Okay.
maybe we aim for that. I just remember that last year they did some kind of Halloween thing for the kids
They did,
here.
yes.
And that, I mean, that was down at that end,
Yeah.
but if we're moving to the band room,
Right.
they were having them walk through that hallway.
You
So,
want to tentatively say the 22nd?
I guess
Is that the
so,
Tuesday?
Okay,
unless anybody's got a better suggestion.
okay, no, that sounds good to me.
Okay,
And it's,
Because obviously you have to coordinate it with Terry McGee with the.
and yeah, and
people
I'll,
Over there.
if I learn anything that totally flips over the chessboard, if, you know,
And
if there's
you-
more clarity, if they say, oh, no, we can't do that Tuesday, something like that.
And if you
then I guess
want
we do
one
it
of
by
us,
email.
Norma or me, or both of us to come up and look at that room and
Mhm.
see if it's appropriate.
well, yeah.
The
I
one
can
you're
come.
talking about,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
I guess first things first, let me
Normal
make
work,
sure
I mean,
I,
I work a lot, but I'm flexible because, you know, I can just put it into my normal
yeah,
daily running around that I gotta do for my jobs, but, you know, just to look at it and see if it's.
Well, I'm here
Doing-
sometimes doing the mail
Yeah.
run, so when we do the mail
Yeah,
run, if
could
you're
also
here, you
show
could,
that,
you
yeah,
could go over there.
yeah,
And that day that we could have maybe some of the guys from Project Friends to
Yeah.
help too. That day. But some of the things, we're gonna go into the Parks and Rec cases as well, some of the
Yeah.
bigger pieces.
Yeah.
so, yeah,
they
in,
need
the-
to
They have
empty there.
moved stuff out, all right?
in the immediate, then near term, I guess, why don't we start off by thinking about what items of, the storage area that we, however you want to define we, Coventry Historical Preservation Commission, whatever. Those items, think about which things you'd like to have in display cases. There are 3 cases, so. Are there 3 different groupings of things that you'd want? You only really
Well, we
want to
have-
put out 2 at this time, you know what I mean? So think about that first, and then I'll also, in the meantime, try to make sure that I know what is this idea of the freezer, like, where is it? And then follow
Well,
up.
yeah. I thought they wanted everybody out of that area. So it seems strange that they want us to move it in that area.
I know, I don't get it yet. So maybe, who knows, maybe the clarity is,
Well,
no,
a
no,
little
there is
bit
no
I've gone
freezer.
through that, I've never seen
Yeah,
a freezer, but then I wasn't looking for one either,
so, yeah, we'll see what he
I
says.
was looking for a ladder.
Imagine where there'd be a walk-in freezer other than in
The cafeteria,
where the cafeteria is.
which is there, where all those air conditioners are that they never gave to anybody.
Cause usually your walk-in freezer is like right next to where your deliveries show up.
Yeah.
Which is right next to an outside wall somewhere.
Yeah, pinpoint where this freezer is,
Yep. I'll report back.
because that's not closer. If it's there, it's not really,
Well, if it's there, I mean, it's no different in a way from
Than
the
the band
band room. It's
yeah,
just a
no, I mean,
question of
it's
what,
not closer.
yeah. But again, that was my impression.
It's a nice that it's.
And I'm only
they're
hearing it
usually
secondhand.
fireproof, That's.
Yeah,
nice.
well, yeah, yeah. Okay,
All right. Well,
okay,
that's all there was for that.
okay, so we have a date, we don't have a time, but that we will come.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're off on Tuesday usually? Cause I was thinking. The loom could go in those cases. At Parks and Rec with mill pictures.
Yep,
Mostly what we have is pictures, little things,
Mhm.
but pictures mostly. So we could do villages, mills and
Hmm.
whatever. And if Paint House wanted some space too for some of their stuff, that's up to them.
yep.
I'm just saying that.
Yeah, beats me.
I'm just saying
I
that
just got
because-
finished putting things in the library and taking them back again.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying this, they have, there'd be room for both. To have some of their stuff in there.
Yep.
If you want to. Cause really, I mean, I don't think the Green would care about it.
All right.
Okay? So are we done?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Okay. I'll
okay.
second it.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Opposed? Nick wants us to.
Nick wants to talk.
Alex wants to stay, us to stay. No, Nick's not
Who
there.
wants
is
to
he?
Yeah,
stay?
nothing there.
No, Nick's not there.
Okay,
Right.
now, would that,
And
be-
this is 6:48.
so just clarifying for future reference, if one of us comes